podcast, episode 8, I think. It's been a couple of weeks. This is a podcast about knitting and crafting, sometimes spinning, yarn, fibre arts, mostly. My name is Andrea and I am from Canberra in the ACT, Australia. And today is, what day of the week is it? It's Tuesday. Normally I record on a Monday, but it's just not been working out for me these past few weeks. So I'm taking this opportunity today. I don't know if I'll be able to get this video uploaded properly because I'm still without a computer to do that properly. But I think I might have figured out a way to do it on my iPad because my iPad has more capacity than my iPhone, and I can upload it to iCloud, the videos to the cloud, and then the light's doing something funny there today, and then pull it all together in iMovie, and then at least if I've got the individual videos and I can't get it off of iMovie, there I might be able to do it on another standard computer. We'll see how we go. So, what have you all been up to these past few weeks? I today am going to talk about what I've been up to. I've been doing a lot of knitting, a lot of finishing. So I have quite a few finished objects to share with you today, and I've got some stash enhancement, some new cast-ons, and I'm going to draw the winner of the giveaway. Well, I've already drawn the winner of the giveaway from the knit along that I had a couple of months ago. And so let's start with that. So the winner of the first winner was post number 14, which was Lollipop, and that's, I think her name is Amorous from Canada, and she's a sweet young thing who likes to knit socks amongst other things. So congratulations, Amorous, and if you get in touch and leave me your contact details and address, I will arrange to have the Misa shawl pattern and yarn sent to you from KnitPicks. And the second prize, which is in my little basket over here, is a set of stitch markers from Nikki Slip on Etsy. And this is them here. Can you see them? And that winner, and I'm going to have to look it up actually on my iPad here. It's number 37. Just give me a minute. I'm just waiting for the passcode to catch up with the computer. 37. So there was a lot of socks entered, which is kind of not very surprising because it was coming into fall and people in the Northern Hemisphere are going to be wanting to wear lots of warm socks to keep their tootsies warm. 37 was L. Wallery, who is Linda from Turner in the United States. So Linda, congratulations, you have won some stitch markers, and if you would like to get in touch with me, and I will organise to have them sent to you. So congratulations to both Linda and Amorous. So I enjoyed having a knit along, I have to say. It's fun, but one of the reasons why I haven't uploaded any videos in the last little while is because I have been feeling a little bit overwhelmed with everything, and the thought of doing a video podcast on top of all of that was a little bit much. So I don't know if I'll be doing another knit along for a while, but I did have an idea for like a sock calendar for next year, where in terms of de-stashing, we all choose some sock yarn that we have in our stash for each month of the year next year, and knit up one pair of socks each month. But the thought of doing a knit along for the whole year that required prizes and interaction was just a little bit much. So maybe we could do an informal knit along sock calendar. That might be fun. Let me know if that's something that you're interested in doing. So let's move on to all the finished objects, and it really is all the finished objects. I have been on a bit of a mission this last couple of weeks to finish all these half or close to finished things that I had on the needles. Some of them had been on the needles for quite a long time. So I'm wearing one of them. This is the Rose Garden Shawl by Christina Hopgood. Christina is the host of the Christina's Knitting Catch-Up podcast. So yeah, sorry, the Christina's Knitting Catch-Up podcast. And this is it. I did do some things that are slightly different to the pattern. I'll take it off. It is a triangular shawl. It's quite large. I wanted it deliberately large. So there you go. It's huge. Christina's pattern has these stockinette and lace sections, and I just switched them around a little bit to make it a little bit bigger. And then I did a picot bind off there, which was also slightly different to the way Christina wrote it in the pattern. And this yarn is Knit Picks Gloss Fingering, and it used 2 and a bit skeins, close to 2.5, maybe a little bit more than 2.5 skeins. So that's what's left of the third skein. So yeah, I think by doing, you could get away with a smaller shawl if you chose to only use 2 skeins of wool, or if you followed the pattern properly, then you could get away with using 2 skeins of wool. Next up is some socks that I finished off. The first ones are these ones here, which are my, these are done in the hand-dyed Knit Picks Stroll, which I dyed. And I've just made some little short socks, some little ankle socks, and I did that as a bit of an experiment. I wanted to see how many grams of yarn it would take for me to knit ankle socks. And so that's them. They came up quite nicely. I quite like them. And they hit my ankle in a really nice spot. So I've written up how I did that on my Ravelry Notes page. But otherwise they're just a vanilla sock with the hand painted. I call it watercolor painting. It's my little, I don't know if anybody else does it like that, but that's my little technique. And secondly, I finished my opal socks. This is opal yarn in the Congo Sally colorway. This is my first time knitting with opal yarn, and I used, for these socks here, I used a 2.25mm needle, and for these socks here I used a 2.5mm needle. I used deep ends for these ones, and fixed circular needle for these ones. I don't have a preference. I think I preferred using the fixed circular, but it doesn't really bother me. Interestingly, I started knitting these as a trial run on knitting 2 at a time, top down 2 at a time, and I really didn't like it. I was finding that I was getting laddering, and I don't get laddering when I knit usually. I can't find a good example of where it was happening, but yeah, I really didn't like the way that it was coming out, so I stopped. I pulled them back onto single double pointed needles and kept going that way. So 2 pairs of socks, yay. What next? Next is I'll show you this one next. This is the first of my Christmas present knitting. This is my Cables for Lara hat, which is a pattern by Mina Phillip of the Knitting Expat podcast. It's knit up in a bulky yarn. And this particular bulky yarn is Rico Creative Melange. And I've got the tag here under my camera. Rico Creative Melange Chunky. And the colorway is 7471. And that's the tag. So this is my second time knitting this pattern. It's a really easy pattern with a good result at the end. This one here is going to be for my oldest son, who's 6.5, and he will be getting this for Christmas. But put it on. These colours are not really my colours, which is why it's for him. It's much more his colours. But I really like this hat. I think it's really cozy and snug, and it will keep his head warm in winter. So that's the first of those. I'm going to be knitting another of those, that exact same hat, for my other son, and this bright green, that's called GGH Joker, and it's a 50% wool, 50% acrylic. So but I'm just having a little break because the cables hurt my hands, or well, I don't know if it's the cables or whether it's that particular wool, but the first time I knit that hat, my hands hurt, and then again this time, so just gonna have a little break. And then my my last finished object, I think, yes, there's nothing else here, is my Quaker Ridge shawlette, and this is a pattern by Susan B. Anderson. I might take this one off and put this one on. And I've knit this out of Manos del Uruguay Fino in the Amethyst Earring colorway. And this is such a beautiful yarn. It's a single yarn and it's really soft, and it has a beautiful drape, probably due to the silk content. And I'll hold this up. It's quite large. You can see the beaded bind off, I hope. And it's a beautiful colour. So again, oh, there we go, that's quite nice. I might just do that. This one took forever. I was knitting on this shawl since I looked on my Ravelry notes, and I cast it on the 1st of June. The 1st of June. So I was knitting on this shawl forever. And the reason was, I think because it was a little bit boring. A lot of stockinette stitch, which means a lot of purling, especially when the rows get very long. And then of course, because it's got the ruffle edge, there's double the number of stitches here as there is to here, so that takes a long time. And then that beaded bind off was, oh, the camera really blew out there, sorry. The beaded bind off was really psychologically hard for me. I thought that it was going to take forever, and it didn't. It only took 3 nights of, I portioned each section up into 3 sections and did it that way. So yes, I'm really looking, it's so lovely. You just want to pat it. I'm really looking forward to wearing this next winter and autumn under my, well, I wear shawls at work all the time because the air conditioning's cold. So yeah, I'm so glad to have this one finished. And so what I've been doing is I've just been finishing one thing and then moving on to the next thing that needed to be finished. And so the last thing that needed to be finished was that hat. And then I did have 2 other things that were still on the needles, but I didn't feel like knitting socks. And I have been craving, like you would not believe, craving hats. I have been craving knitting DK and worsted weight hats. And so I bought a lovely skein of yarn from a company called Circus Tonic Handmade. I'm just going to pick it up here. And she's an Australian indie dyer, brand new to the market. She has an Etsy store. And I'll show you her card, her brand. So that's it there. Came with this really cute little paper clip. And I've already skeined it up because I wanted to knit it into something. I had plans for it originally, and then I abandoned that plan because the wool was stiffer than the project that I had planned for it was going to need. So this is the yarn. It's coming out quite true to colour there. It's called Adelie Penguin, and it's her Carousel DK base. And I'm halfway through a row, but I can sort of stretch it out here. So this is the beginnings of a hat. And the name of the hat patterns just jumped out of my head. I think it's Lena. The pattern is called Lena, and it's doing, the cables are done without a cable needle, and it's all done in twisted rib. And I'm quite enjoying it, actually. I didn't think twisted rib would be one that I would enjoy because knitting through the back loop, but it's actually quite fast, and I'm quite surprised how much I am enjoying it. So I dare say that that will be finished up quickly. The pattern says to cast on 120, but when I cast on 120 it looked massive, so I ripped it out and cast on 100. And now it kind of looks like it's going to be small. It might fit, I don't know. But if it doesn't, I have a niece who I think would look very good in a cute pink hat. So, and there might even be enough left over to do something else. Like, I'm thinking maybe some colour work. But yeah, it's quite a woolly wool, rustic, I guess. Not rustic, but it's certainly not drapey. It's got a stiffness to it, and that might go away when it's washed, but I don't think so because it is a hand-dyed yarn, so it has been washed already. So that's my first purchase, and I definitely give a big shout out to Hannah from Circus Tonic Handmade. If you go on, she's having this fun little competition called Circus Tonic Adventure, and Circus Tonic Handmade Adventure. And if you buy yarn from her and then take it on an adventure and take a photograph of your yarn on an adventure, then you can go in the draw to win 150 gram skein dyed by her based on the photograph you took. So my yarn went on a little adventure to a local show, and I did take a little bit of video which I will insert here. I went and sat at the Knitters Guild table at the local Queanbeyan show a couple of weeks ago, and I talked to people and we knit, and we had a great time actually, me and 2 others from the Knitting Guild. And I took my Circus Tonic yarn and photographed it with a Champion fleece. So I'll insert that picture here, and then a little video of some of the fleeces that I took. This one here, it's quite amazing. It's got, I'm going to try and zoom in, it's got the most amazing crimp. Look at that. Here's some fleece. This is the Grand Champion fleece. So what else is on my needles? A few months ago I was given some cotton from a swap, and it's the Lily Sugar and Cream cotton, and so I thought I would knit that up into some dishcloths. I don't know if I'm going to keep these or give them away. I really like these dishcloths. This one's just called Granny's Favourite Dishcloth or something like that. Really, really simple. The pooling came out really cool, I think, on this one. So that's the first one. I think I'm going to get a little bit over halfway through the second one. I've only got a little bit left, so I'm hoping I'll get through it, but I think I will. Pretty sure I'll get 2 out of it. So they might be a Christmas present, but I don't really know. That might just go in the pile of possible Christmas presents. But yeah, that's my emergency knitting, because it's simple. And I don't have a sock. I don't have a sock on the needles at the moment. Hard to believe, but there's no socks. So the last thing that's still on my needles from my unfinished projects pile is my Curious handmade knit along. And I'm in the middle of a row here too. I've made near no progress, but I'm going to be getting back to this one maybe tonight actually. It's one of those things, and I didn't have the brain space this week to think about where I was up to on it. So I've just been putting it aside until I felt like I had enough brain space to figure out where I was up to. So yes. And it's so nice actually to see, now that the cowl is finished, it's so nice to see what other people have done, because in this shawl it's just the 2 colours, so you've got this chunk of blue and then the bigger chunk of the lace to finish it off at the crescent. But what some people have done is they've put in another slice of the first colour towards the end, and I think I might do that. I really quite like how it looks. I like how it looks with just the 2 colours too, so I'm a little bit undecided, but that's my second ball of wool, and this is 2 Muck Valley yarns, her sock base in the Gypsy Rose colourway, and the first one is not Manos del Uruguay. Oh, my brain's not working very well. It is Malabrigo sock in the Azules colourway. And that's a 4mm needle, I think. I've got it there. And I have all sorts of stitch markers along here. I have got all the stitch markers. But I'll show you one of my stitch markers from my Etsy store. I've got a little bunny. Is he coming up there? Bunny. A crown. And that's it. The rest of them are mishmash. So I'm going to try and make some progress on that one this week. So next up, I guess, is stash enhancement and acquisitions. I bought this project bag a couple of weeks ago from a company called Pura Vida. You can see that there. Sorry about that. There was somebody knocking at the door. So yes, I bought this bag from Pura Vida, which is a company, I think they're based in Germany, and they make, or they have a contract with some people in Costa Rica to make these little bracelets, amongst others. And the bracelets go to, the money from the bracelets goes to assisting people in Costa Rica. So one of the reasons I bought it was because of the fabric, because it's pineapples and it's bright. It's, as you can see, it's quite squishy. It's not like a project bag that we get from people who hand make project bags. And the quality is also not like a project bag that you get from people who make project bags. But it's cute and it does the job. And I quite like squishy project bags because you can just chuck them in your bag and they don't get crushed or anything like that. So I've been using that one a little bit. What else have I bought? I have bought, when I was in Melbourne a few weeks ago, I went to Suti Fabrics. They had a special evening shopping night and I picked up this pattern for Libby Aline Skirt. I know how to make an A-line skirt. I've made many an A-line skirt, but sometimes it's nice to have a pattern. And this particular one is very nice. I saw a couple made up at their store, so I thought I would grab it. Now there's a child calling me. I don't know if I should go and see him or not. He's having a bath. I don't think he's actually needing me. He wants to show me a play, apparently, while he's in the bath. Each to their own, but I'll go after I finish talking to you guys. So I've also, Love Knitting had a funny little promotion a couple of weeks ago where if you bought any yarn from their store, they sent you one of these little bags. And I just had to have one. Really? That's what it came down to? I had to have one. Oh, now the other child wants me. I'd rather be knitting. It's true. I would most of the time rather be knitting. So that's my fun little bag that I got from Love Knitting. And to get that fun little bag, I purchased a couple of things. Some sock yarn mostly. So I got this Drops Fable in, this is the Candy colourway. And I really love that lime green mixed with the purple. It's not a colour I would probably choose to wear on its own, but I love it mixed with that purple. And this is a yarn that I've not tried before. This is Lana Grossa Meal and Welt. And it's like the Brights Extreme colour. I bought this purely because of the extreme colour. So this is the, I'll just show you, colourway. And I am going to use these socks as a bit of an experiment to learn how to do afterthought heel socks. So when I feel like knitting up those, that's going to be a pair of afterthought heel socks, which is going to be a first for me. And then the other thing I got, which I haven't opened yet, is this really pretty purple. I think it's called Lavender or berries or something like that. And I think this is going to have to be a sockhead hat. I've been looking at what other people have knit out of this colourway, and I just think that it's going to have to be a hat, because who doesn't want a hat that colour? I feel a bit stupid doing that. So that was what I bought from loveknitting.com to get my free bag. It's not free, but that's okay. And then, even though it's hot here in summer and we tend to not wear socks, it has been cool this past week though. I have gotten into the whole Christmas sock knitting bandwagon. And I really, really, really wanted a pair of socks, Christmas socks for 2015. So this is what I bought. This is I bought this from Fondant Fibre. I think it might be, I don't know if it's unique to Fondant Fibre, but I haven't seen it anywhere else. So here it is. This is West Yorkshire Spinners, Signature 4-ply in the 2015 Christmas colourway. It reminds me of holly. The green and the red. I'm really looking forward to knitting this up. So as soon as it's December, I am going to cast on some Christmas socks. And then, the person at the door just now happened to be the postman delivering some yarn. I ordered this yarn on Friday from an Australian, it's actually a Canberra-based yarn store called Yarn House, Haus, and she was having a sale, and it was a good sale because she stocks Quince & Co and Madeline Tosh, so it was a really good sale. And so I got a little bit of Quince & Co and a little bit of Madeline Tosh. So I bought this Madeline Tosh here, which is DK weight, the calligraphy colourway, and it's like a beigey stone colour, and I have plans for this to be a hat, because I don't have neutrals. Are much more easy to wear, I find, when it's something that's close to your face. And I never buy neutrals. So I think next year is going to be the year of buying neutral coloured yarns so that I have more things that go with most of my clothing. The colourful hats are good for the weekend, I find, but when I'm dressed for work or whatever, I don't always want to wear a bright purple hat, funnily enough. And the other thing I bought was 2 skeins of this Quince & Co Lark, and this is the gingerbread colourway, which funnily enough is also reminiscent of Christmas, but that's not why I bought it. I bought it because, again, this is going to be another hat, probably a Jared Flood Bray hat, and I just thought that it was a lovely autumn colour, and that'll be really nice for autumn next year. So I don't know if it really goes with me, actually, now that I look at it, but when you buy things online you can't tell. Well, it might be alright. If not, it'll go to somebody else as a gift. So, what's been going on here in the last few weeks? Well, not a whole lot of much of anything except for exercising and going to the Queen Bienne show and knitting. There hasn't been any events or anything all that interesting happening since I last podcast, which is very boring. But I guess that's the life of a full-time working parent. I tend to go into downtime on the weekends, and I had to work this past Saturday at a school fete. So that meant that I didn't get as much downtime as I needed to on the weekend at home, which is kind of annoying because I still feel like I'm recovering from that. And yeah, I've been exercising, which is crazy but necessary, because I used to be very, very fit, and I have lost that fitness. And so I've been running and going to the gym, and most of the rest of the time I don't feel like doing very much at all because I'm exhausted. And that's, I think I might have been overdoing it a little bit because I was exhausted yesterday. Oh my goodness, I just came home from work and I went straight and lay down. I was so tired. So yes, it's one of those things where you have to find the right balance, I think. I have been watching a lot of Netflix. I watched a really interesting and different story about ballet. It's called Flesh and Blood. It's American. It's about a ballerina with an emotionally dark past. It was dark. The whole thing was dark, actually. But that was a good show. And then I've been watching another show on the ABC called, the Australian ABC, called The Beautiful Lie, which is a retelling of Anna Karenina in a modern Australian sense. And that's been quite interesting too. So that's been keeping me company amongst podcasters on my knitting travels. So I hope that you guys have had a good couple of weeks. I really hope that I managed to get this video uploaded. It's not going to be today, possibly tomorrow when I'm at work. It can happen in the background. I'm not going to promise any episodes in the next couple of weeks. I hope those people who have won the knit along prizes get in touch, and I will get those sent out to you. And thanks for watching. I always watch other people's podcasts, and other people are so good at telling their viewers thank you and thank you for interacting, and I feel like I do a really bad job of that. So thank you for watching and for interacting on the Ravelry group, and for continuing to come back if you are a regular viewer. I've been umming and ahhing about whether or not to continue podcasting, because there just seems to be so many podcasts out there now, and I kind of feel like, how can little old me compete? And then I say to myself, well, that's stupid, because it's not really a competition. It's about sharing our craft and sharing our enthusiasm for this craft across the world. So yes, if you do watch my podcast, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching. It's surprises me that so many people watch, actually, but thanks so much. And I would love for you to come and join in the Ravelry group and interact with us on the Ravelry group. I check it all the time, but nobody ever posts in there at the moment. If you've got any questions that you'd like to know about me, I'd be happy to answer them. So please ask away in that Q&A thread. Or if there's anything in particular that you want me to talk about, that can happen too. So thanks for watching, and I will chat with you as soon as I can next. And I hope that you have a lovely time over the next few weeks crafting, and stay happy.